This is ABC News, I think Australia. Um, but they're in India, commenting on the CJP, the Cockroach Janta Party, and I don't care much about this, but this kind of stuff seems to be happening a lot more common around the world, where something will happen which will spark an uproar in a segment of people, and then what's the term for it? There's a term for the people who see an opportunity to take advantage of a situation. I guess they're opportunists. I guess that's the word you can use. They're opportunists that they take advantage of a situation and then attach their own belief to that situation, and then try to change what it's originally about. And then it gets so far-fetched, and then people lose track of the entire thing, the entire vision. I find it ridiculous. Why are you going into politics? I hate politics. I do too. And this is exactly why. People should be able to speak their minds, but when people go too far, where they start rioting, that's where you've lost people. That's where you lose the normal person. But yeah, this is what's going on in India, and it's embarrassing. It's absolutely embarrassing. But then again, it also happens everywhere else in the world. So India isn't unique in this situation. It's embarrassing no matter what nation does it.
Delhi has become a battleground. For a generation no longer willing to wait for change. The newly formed Cockroach Janta Party has channeled years of frustration and anger into one of India's largest youth protests.
We are here with the hope that the system will change.
This isn't going to change the system. You change the system at the ballot box. You don't change the system by rioting. It started because a lot of people who the system of the education system is fractured and it doesn't function, and students are upset that the things they worked hard for turned out to be thrown out the window, and then they gotta redo it, because it is just like, again, humans are always going to be the problem in any system that takes place. No matter if they change the system, humans will be the issue. Unless you're handing over the power to a machine, and the machine will always be logical about every situation, we will never be able to actually find unification. People will never be happy because we're all individualistic. We all want ourselves to be more happy. That's just it. And we always want to be more happy than the other person. That sounds bad, but that is the truth. You can preach you want unification and all you want, but in the end, you just want your unification. You just want your happiness. It doesn't matter if it's at the expense of somebody else. I hate this stuff because so many people feel like they got the right idea, but they're going about it the wrong way. It's either a lack of education or they literally know what they're doing. They're a bunch of false bad actors who are adding to the fire. Like in the US, a lot of the protesters are paid to be there and cause a scene for the other people that don't know any better, and then they just follow like cattle.
It's become the strongest youth-led opposition to the 12-year reign of Prime Minister Narendra Modi.
They're trying to push people back, they're trying to push us this way, but this crowd is not having it.
We were so peaceful, we were just asking for justice.
Beneath the chants and the chaos sweeping across India lies a reluctant leader. Abhijeet Dipke formed the CJP after he heard these comments from India's Chief Justice of the Supreme Court in May.
Breaking news, meetings are taking place in Sri Lanka, Bangladesh, Nepal, and in UAE for this protest. I don't understand why. It's like, it's funny because my wife was talking to me about it. Like when she was in college, the same exact thing happened. Where the same thing, where she had classmates that had to commit, deleted themselves. She had friends, family that, go that route, because this stuff every few years finds out that, the entire system of education doesn't function. And what's sad is It honestly doesn't function. I don't think any nation does it right. Like what I'm totally against is like the what is it? Reservation? Like the reservation system, that is absolutely retarded. Why would you give someone a benefit just because they have a worse upbringing than you? That makes no sense. You should judge people on the qualifications, not because of their background. Their background should have nothing to do. Are you going to treat the child of a serial killer different just because he's the child of a serial killer? No. If he's a genius and able to solve math, really high math equations, guess what? I'm pretty sure a lot of people will not care where he came from. That's the thing. It's just like you should be judging people off of what they're qualified to do and what they know, not their background and where they come from. I view that as racist. But yeah, they're throwing that out the window, hopefully, and hopefully it sticks. But it's freaking insane.
There are youngsters like cockroaches. They don't get any employment. They don't have any place in profession.
The 30-year-old was a world away studying in Boston in the United States, but it prompted him to fire off a post on X that would change his life.
I just simply said, what if all cockroaches come together?
His satirical Instagram page garnered more than 1 million followers in 24 hours, tapping into the anger ignored by the political elite.
To see 10 million followers within 4 days, that was really shocking. And this was not just, abruptly happening. This frustration and this disappointment has been there for quite some years now.
Abhijeet has crossed into a role he never imagined, taking on one of the world's most powerful governments.
Being an introvert, my life has changed, like all 180 degrees. It has changed upside down. I have never been that person who used to socialize much, but now here I'm a public face where I have constantly meet people, greet them.
For more than a month, Abhijeet and his protesters camped out at Delhi's designated protest site. Despite being labelled terrorists by the government and accused of fueling unrest, they were allowed to stay well beyond the usual curfew. It seemed a move by the government to keep India's young people on side.
The government does realize that the frustration and the disappointment among the younger generation is genuine. And if they use force or if they crack down, that will only, that will be counterproductive.
But upset intensified over a spate of suicides after the leak of a fiercely competitive exam paper, which forced 2 million students to resit it.
All we are asking is justice for those 20 students who died by suicide because the failure of one education minister. So it's not
that's the thing. It's just like those students, they studied hard. That has constantly happened throughout. I'm not just gonna say India's education system. Every education system in the world has always had, guess what? Humans being the issue. One professor wants to get a payoff that they'll leak the information. When my wife went through it in her studies, guess what? Everyone had to retake the test. But because social media wasn't as full-blown at that point in time, which is funny, it was just a few years ago, wasn't just as full-blown at that point in time, nobody cared. The ones who took their own lives, it was tragic. You felt sorry for them. But guess what? My wife had to retake the test. Everyone else had to retake the test. Those who were still around. Because of one person who wanted to get paid off the side. Those people need to be tried. And honestly, I feel like those who took a profit need to get tried for the deletion of the young students. That's just how it should be. The screen's not frozen. The screen's working perfectly fine.
Just one exam. The entire education system of India needs an overhaul because it's on the edge of collapse.
As supporters prepared to march to Parliament on Monday, demanding the resignation of the Education Minister, Abhijeet insisted on a peaceful approach.
The protest is amazing. The youth are amazing. But the government is, I don't have words for them.
How long we stay?
Till our last breath.
It's funny how it's always the youth. It seems to always be the youth that are in schools that are always seem to be compromised. The same thing happens here in the US. It's those in higher forms of education that feel like I think it's that weird point in time where you've just you finished being a kid, listening to your parents, you're getting into adulthood, and you want to put a mark on the world that you matter. The sad thing is no one's told these kids that they don't. And that sounds harsh. That really sounds harsh, but we don't matter in the long scheme of things. All you can do is to be your best self and put the good you want to see in the world. That's all you can really do. Doing something like this for, okay, I'm just going to say it. For civilized people like me, this is an eyesore. Imagine trying to get to work and having to deal with these crowds. Imagine trying to just do your job to try and help your family, and you get these crowds. It's so problematic. It's so problematic. Food has been ordered from for Qatar through online channels for these protesters. I was there yesterday and take that food. I asked to deliver person who ordered this food. He said it was ordered from Qatar. I don't know. That seems a little much. But again, it's just like this is probably being financed by some other nation. I'm just saying it. This is normally how the world's operating right now. It used to be, you go back 20 years, how did China and America fight with one another? Well, it's more like 30, 40, 50 years for a long time, even during the Cold War. How did the powerful nations compete with one another? They used other nations as proxies. The problem is the world's so small now, they can't do that easily. So what do? They finance protests. China's constantly financing protests in the US. US is financing protests elsewhere. That's just how the world's operating now. The problem is a lot of people aren't thinking that way. They don't abstract and realize we're being utilized by a foreign nation. They're just pawns, and that's sad. That's absolutely sad. True, you can absolutely have strong feelings for what you believe in, but this isn't going to do anything for anyone. Someone trying to starve themselves isn't going to do anything for anyone except draw attention to them. That is it. That is it. Most probably America? Yeah. I mean, who would be the two that would be truly unhappy to see, because Russia's busy right now. Who would be the two most likely suspects to orchestrate this? Who would be incredibly unhappy with India becoming a first world power? Well, the U.S. to maintain its reign, and China because it likes having India as like a stepping stool. So honestly, it could go either way. It could be either one, either or both at the same time financing it. Just wondering which one will take.
Employment rate has hit 40% for graduates aged under 25. For many, sought-after government roles offer a lifetime of security.
1,20,00,000 बच्चे हर साल अप्लाई करते हैं गवर्नमेंट एग्जाम के लिए, लेकिन जॉब वैकेंसी सिर्फ 5 लाख है। तो आप देख सकते हैं मतलब कितना कम रेशियो है।
And again, also the fact that you can either be a completely A student or you can be a B student from a reservation. Honestly, the B student from a reservation is probably getting the job, not the A student, which is insane. Absolutely insane. You would think you would want the A student to be there, but no. You got to give it to the DEI hires.
But what started as a peaceful demonstration soon escalated.
Authorities have
Always
just shot
does.
another tear gas cannon and another one towards the crowd, and used sound cannon to disperse them. They've been pushing back this crowd further and further away from Parliament, and they've been setting up these barricades just now, but it doesn't really seem to be working.
Journalist and author Ruhi Tiwari has spent decades reporting on Indian politics and says the government miscalculated by not taking the group seriously from the beginning.
Instead of addressing the issue and nipping it in the bud, it's allowed it to balloon into this huge, massive movement that is catching national attention. It's reached a point where any sort of climb down on the government's part will seem like it's giving way to the opposition and to everybody else who's protesting, and the government will feel embarrassed about doing that. So it's really boxed itself into a bit of a corner.
Cornered or not, the government has started engaging. The health minister met with CJP leaders earlier this week, assuring them their demands would be considered. And the education minister has posted on X, saying the government remains 100% committed to addressing the concerns of young people in Parliament. But Ruhi says lasting change may be difficult to achieve when the group is not an official political party.
You need to be a player in electoral politics who make a difference in terms of bringing a government down, ensuring there is a regime change. That's very difficult to do, to establish, to achieve if you're not a political player.
There's a great power in social
It's
movement,
just
but
unrest.
If we have to start political party just to seek accountability from the government, then I think that is a very wrong idea. Because if everybody has to start their own political parties to resolve things, then why would we elect a government?
The future of the cockroach junta party is uncertain, but Abhijeet has already inadvertently achieved something few thought possible, uniting the frustrations of the world's largest youth
just the signs they have.
population into a force the Modi government seems unable to ignore.
The whole thing's just a party now. It's just a party. It seems like again, it's been co-opted and now it's literally going to be taken advantage of by foreign ops. That's just how it operates. That's just how this stuff will always operate from now on. It's tragic, but that's just how it is. This leader had been meeting existing political party. All spokesperson belong to a party. Person on hunger strike is son of political leader, and suddenly they all have no connection. Are face of youth. I mean, the whole thing is just the Wuksuk Wenglu Fuksuk Wengdu Fuksuk Wengdu. I don't know his real name. I know you wrote it, but I know the Fuksuk ended his hunger strike in presence of minister. The most appropriate conclusion is that he got scared of his NGOs. I mean, I know that there was a reason as to why everyone started digging up his history, finding out that he's a clout chaser. He's a clout chaser. That's all he really is. I mean, he was in he was in Palestine and then he was Pakistan or whatever, just chasing. He does what the Americans do, flying whatever flag will make him popular of that point in time. That's everyone started looking up his history. And that's the thing, like the whole thing's being co-opted. And yes, it is tragic that there is corruption. But the thing is, every nation deals with corruption. Every nation will always have corruption as long as human beings are in charge. That's just the truth. That's just the truth. Sadly, we are so caring and narcissistic. We all want to take care of ourselves first and foremost. The thing is, again, the Batman line is so so important. You either die a hero or live long enough to see yourself become a villain. How many people go into politics because they have like this great ideal? They want to make a change. And then over time, they fall into the rabbit hole that is politics. I think politics is a terrible thing. We don't need politicians, we need leaders. The problem is, no nations elect leaders. They elect politicians. And that's the big problem. These nations, you look back in the day, like a lot of the founding nations, we elected leaders. George Washington, Andrew Jackson, Abraham Lincoln. Those were all leaders of the free world because America is a free world. But a lot of things end up getting co-opted. Like I was talking to my wife, the Civil War. What is the Civil War in the United States known for? Freeing the slaves. That's not why it started. The thing is, it got co-opted. It seemed like a positive movement to add because the movement was losing traction. And then guess what? Abraham Lincoln was like, you know what? This has been on the back burner for about a century. Let's free the slaves. Let's add it on. And then guess what? The Union started actually winning. They beat the Confederacy because it had more momentum to it. They added another movement, another strong movement. But the thing is, you have to add it in points where it makes sense. As a movement starts to die, that's when you can add more fuel to the fire to be like, you know what? Let's start backing this horse. And now the Civil War is only known for the fact that it was trying to free the slaves. That's it. Nobody cares about the original fact because freeing the slaves was more important and still is more important than original. It's crazy. It's crazy. But yeah, it's tragic how a lot of people, they don't understand that we don't have leaders anymore. They look at politicians and think they're leaders, but they are not. They're politicians. And politicians are there to say what they want to say. They're like, I don't view Trump as a politician. I view him as a businessman. Still not a leader. He's a businessman. He's not a leader. But I viewed him better than a politician. Let's be honest. A businessman is better than a politician. Sure, they're somewhat corrupt, but at the same time, I still think it's better than a politician that's willing to sell out its own nation. Willing to sell out its own nation. My math teacher once said, politics is a first-class game played by third-class people. You know, that's one of the best ways to say it. That's one of the best ways to say it. Just like, what's the saying? Workers do, those who can't supervise. Because you always need those people that actually have the capability of making a change. The ones who can't, they become politicians. They become the overseers. They become not all the time, but that's always how it feels. That's always how it feels. I'm pretty sure a lot of people have a manager that just feels like they have no clue what you as an employee are doing. They just think you have all the time in the world. I'm pretty sure a lot of people out there have that definition.
You guys get a video? So bad.
Don't forget to like and subscribe.
Wait like that.